Oh, sorry, did you say something? What do you mean I've been scrolling for 3 hours completely ignoring you? Of course I care about our relationship. Why would you think I don't? Oh, because I'm completely ignoring you and giving all my undivided attention to this little thing right here. I can't see the correlation. Why are you so upset with me? Everyone does it. And that right there is the problem. Everybody does it. Phubbing is what it's called. Phone snubbing. Look, we've all done it, we've all been there, I'm guilty of it, you're probably guilty of it. We live in a time now where it's completely normal to constantly be on our phones, constantly checking our phones, always having our phones on us. We don't really know how to live without them now. It's actually quite scary. For example, have you ever forgotten your phone when you've gone to leave the house and you're very quickly then doing that whole patting yourself search, checking the last place it could have possibly been and having this mild to severe panic attack that you've lost your phone and you're not going to be able to find it and everything's ending and you start spiraling and then, oh, there it is, all good, everything's fine now. Our entire lives are now online for everyone to see. We're consistently being fed this constant stream of information. Of course that's addictive. Of course it's so easy to get completely inundated and consumed and overwhelmed with this constant stream of knowledge and constant chatter. It doesn't shut up. Our phones don't take a break. The internet does not sleep. The internet was a physical space in a house. You would have to get up, walk to it, turn it on, wait for dial-up, which took ages, so you had to really want to look something up. It was not just a pick up phone, unlock phone, you're on the internet. It wasn't like that. You had to get up and had to know what it was you were wanting to look up, to get the answer to, and then you'd get up, turn off your computer, and walk out again. The internet was a physical space. It was not constantly in our back pocket 24/7 all of the time. As soon as your alarm goes off, you're just quickly turning off the alarm, picking up the phone, scroll. Oh crap, I need to quickly get ready for work, I need to get the kids ready, I need to get out the door by this time, I'm late again. It just builds and builds and builds. There's also the issue of whenever we feel uncomfortable, the first thing we do is we reach for our phone and we're just to fill in awkward silence, to fill in time. Just walk through the city of where you live and you'll just see people walking around doing this. It's actually, once you notice it, it's actually dystopian as hell. Like, it is so weird once you're fully aware and you're the only person walking around not doing this. It's very bizarre when you see it and you realize it. It's just like, oh my god, it's like watching a bunch of zombies. And there does need to be self-awareness that comes with phone usage, particularly in your relationships as well. Like, a whole new issue in relationships centers around phone use, and it's insane when you think about it. Like, there's been studies done for babies where it's, if a person is disinterested or not paying attention, they have a blank expression on their face. Like, there's no emotion, there's no anything, it's just ignore, blank. And a baby's screaming and they're crying and they want your attention and you're doing this, what face are you pulling? Complete disinterest, not listening, I'm just looking at my screen, which may not be your intention, but the baby and the child is interpreting that as, oh, my caregiver has no interest in what's causing me an issue, they're just ignoring me, then that completely distresses them. It's the same with adults in relationships. We are now suddenly competing, which sounds like such a strange word to use, but we are competing for the attention of our partner. We'll be sitting in bed, lying in bed, we've all been there, and your partner does this. And subconsciously, you're not even aware of it half the time, but there is this feeling then of, I'm being ignored. I now have to compete with this little glowing box that makes sounds and must be way more interesting than I am, that my partner has diverted all attention onto this thing. And it is, like, the studies have been done on this, where we do interpret that as being ignored. So it's not necessarily the intention of somebody, and these are made to be so addictive, like, so addictive. Like, this hasn't come out of nowhere. Like, this has been around since the accessibility and how easy it is to carry these around and constantly be on them. Like, we all do it, unless you manage to train yourself out of the routine of wake up, reach, scroll. It's so hard to break unless you are consciously aware and actually being able to override that instinctual reaction of grabbing it, looking at it. As soon as you hear a notification, we jolt, don't we? We jolt and we quickly want to see where that's coming from. When we scroll and we hit refresh, we're hoping for that dopamine. Considering these are like the most socially acceptable things to be carrying around with you all the time, constantly just ignore everyone around you, not notice what's going on, cause so many traffic accidents, cause so many issues. There's now studies being done on how they affect relationships, how children respond to parents' phone usage as well, and how they're feeling neglected. It's all these things. Like, we have so many platforms to talk to people on, and so many platforms to check up on what everyone's doing. People from your high school from like years ago, you didn't even really interact with in high school. Like work colleagues you don't particularly even know. Like, it's all these people that we have this weird parasocial relationship with, where it's like we are somehow in their lives. We know what's going on because of what they're posting on Facebook. We know how their children are. We know how their marriage is going. We know what they're feeling at that current point in time. And it's like, these people are not usually in our inner circle. Our inner circle naturally would be a small group of people that we knew well. We're not designed to have these close relationships with like hundreds of people. We cannot possibly know hundreds or thousands of people on that deep personal level. That's basically impossible. We're designed to have deep emotional connections with a handful of people, get to know them on a deep level. But this whole need to know what everyone's doing at all times, complete like basic strangers. Like, if you go through your Facebook friends or your Instagram feed, how many of these people do you actually associate with on a weekly basis? Like, how many of these people actually do you know? Like, and actually want to know deeper? That's the thing too. Like, a lot of us have this whole popularity thing going on, like Instagram, where people can literally buy followers, buy these people to make it look like they have a bunch of friends and a bunch of followers and people who are interested in their lives. Like, it's sad. It's this popularity contest of kind of going, I'm worth knowing, I guess. Like, there's something about me that is interesting enough that a large group of people want to be involved in my life. It's this very insecure mindset to have of, I need to be known, it's like when people have this whole ambitious drive to not be forgotten. Like, I've heard so many people talk about this deep desire when it's their funeral and a whole bunch of people show up. Like, they want a bunch of people at their funeral saying, this person did this person did this. A lot of people say, I want to be remembered after death. And I never really understood that. I'm just like, well, I'll be dead. So it's this very fear-based worry of, I'm not going to be remembered after death. And it's like, well, who cares? We'll be dead. Like, or this need to like leave a legacy or leave something behind. Like, it's this we're scared of just being able to exist on this planet. We have to somehow leave a part of ourselves behind that matters, or else our life was not worth it. You're not the most important thing on the planet. Like, that's just how that works. To take that view of, I'm important enough to be remembered years and years after my death, is such a strange take to have. And I think that is based in a fear of being forgotten, or like having a wasted life or something, or your life was not meaningful in some way. But we create our own meaning. As technology becomes more and more advanced and we become more technologically literate, we're losing who we actually are, in my opinion. We're losing this sense of community because we constantly got this wall up around us, and we use this as a security blanket too. As soon as you feel awkward, what do? Reach for your phone. As soon as there's a wait time or you're waiting in a line for something, what do? We are not comfortable with moments of stillness. We're not comfortable with moments of transition. We're not good at sitting with our thoughts anymore. Our brains always have to be occupied by an outside source. People don't really daydream anymore. People don't really have to sit, ponder and think about things in order to solve a problem. We're constantly drip-fed information on this little box right here that has all the secrets and answers in the world, and we don't need to use our brains anymore. They're just turning to mush. We're not using what we're given. We're not really being creative in that sense anymore. We're not having to think outside of the box to solve a problem, because we're constantly told, oh, this is what's going on, well, just do this. Like, it's all laid out for us. We don't need to think. The thinking is done for us. In this age of apparent connection through social media, we are becoming so disconnected. Like the fact when you get in bed with your partner and you're getting ready to go to sleep or whatever, the fact that there's a third entity suddenly competing for attention is absurd. Like, it is so insane that you then have to compete for your partner's connection and a bond and emotional attachment from a little glowing box. Like, when you break it down like that, it's actually insane. When your child's crying and you just want to drown them out and ignore them and just tune out, and they're just seeing mum or dad's blank face looking at this screen, completely ignoring them, it distresses them. It causes a level of distress for people. That this person that I'm with is completely ignoring my existence right now to look at a glowing screen. Like, wow, I must be a really boring person to be around if that is getting their attention way more than I am. And again, that is how that's designed. It's designed to be extremely addictive. So, of course, we're going to feel a little bit dysregulated by that sort of a thing. Like, we know logically that's probably not what they're doing. I mean, in some cases it is. But these things are designed to be addictive. Like, there needs to be some sort of, like, self-control and restriction placed on these things. Like, knowing how much time is too much time. And being able to set aside time, technology-free, to spend with your partner, to spend with your friends, to spend with your children. Where technology is not butting in constantly and interrupting and going, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. The phone trying to get your attention constantly. It's vibrating, it's lighting up, it's making noise. Like, it's designed to grab your attention from whatever it is you are doing and divert it back to the phone, because guess what? That's how they get their money. As soon as you pick up your phone, you are then giving them your time and your attention, and that is how they make money off of you, because you are now looking at thousands of ads every single day from this thing. Subconsciously, it's getting in the brain, and you are their customer. That's what these things are designed to be. You are the consumer and you are the customer of these devices. Your time is being diverted into this thing. Years of your life, time you will not get back, is being diverted into this. It's ruining your relationships, and it's completely butting in and interfering with your connections in real life. So I just wanted to make this video as just a reminder. I know a lot of us already know this, but to be more aware of our technology usage and actually giving our technology an assigned purpose. When we pick up our phone and we're about to look something up, to actually know what it is we're assigning a task for our technology to do. Because this is what this should be used for, in my opinion, is assigning a task to this tool. And I think that's what phones should always have remained as, tools. Not entertainment devices, not procrastinating devices, not little dopamine boxes, tools. And as soon as we took that away from them and made them light up fun toys, like, of course we want to spend all of our time looking at the bright lights and the sounds and all these cool things we can now have. Like, it's actually so dystopian when you break it down and look at it. But we need to somehow get back to using these as tools. We need to dumb them down again. Like, for me personally, I'll show you now, I've put a minimalist launcher on my phone to make it as unappealing as possible. Look how boring that is. I do not want bright lights. I do not want any kind of a screen. Boring. I want boring. I don't want this to grab my attention. I would like for this to be used as a tool. And of course I'm not perfect. None of us are. But to create some kind of friction and barrier between us and the technology is so useful, because these things will get us otherwise. These things are so addictive that unless you're consciously using these as tools, they will, and they are, causing problems. So yeah, that's just a bit of a ramble I wanted to have today on phone snubbing, phubbing, and yeah, just technology use in general. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!